Welcome to the Kingdom Culture Podcast that was created on purpose with a purpose to empower, uplift, and guide others to the center of God's perfect will. Kingdom Culture family, welcome back to the Kingdom Culture Podcast. I hope everybody's been having a great week. This week I want to talk about resilience and what that means and how you can build it. Because last week we talked about taking action, but what happens when you don't see, the results that you want super fast, because we all know that anything that's good takes time and effort, right? So let's talk about it. Resilience is, about developing the mental, emotional, and sometimes physical strength to withstand and recover from difficult situations. Resilience isn't about avoiding stress or hardships, but rather about learning how to cope and bounce back from them. I can give you an example that, I always go back to is when I went back to the gym back in 2019, I sprained my leg. So like I shared before, my right leg is shorter than my left leg. And guess what? My right leg is the one that I sprained. And so it was very difficult for me because it was frustrating that I was hurt and more with my leg that's already not at 100. So going back into the gym, I had to make sure that I kept my foot moving, that I kept myself moving, that I kept myself in a mindset of this will get better. You need to continue on. And I did therapies. I made sure that I took care of myself in a healthy way, but that I kept going to the gym, because if I didn't, build that resilience of this is only temporary, I think I wouldn't have gotten back into the gym. Because it's easier. It's easier to be now it's messed up. Now I can't do anything else. But the truth is that if you build a mindset of resilience, it helps with any adversity that you will have going forward. So, what are the key elements of building resilience? One of them is having a positive mindset. Like I said with my sprain, I kept myself in a positive mindset. I said, nope, no matter what happens, I'm still going to hit the gym. No matter what happens, I'm going to heal from this. No matter what happens, I will not remain in this, sad mindset of oh no, I can't do anything now. So optimism, is having a positive outlook, believing that you can overcome challenges and focus on what we can control that rather than we can't. Again, going back to my example, I could control doing small exercises that didn't need me to stand up. I used the bench a lot to do a bunch of, upper arm workouts. I used the bench to do a bunch of ab workouts. Obviously, I wasn't working out my legs as much, but what I could, I did do. And I just kept myself in the gym, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be back there. A growth mindset, viewing challenges as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles, the mindset of learning from failures and setbacks. What I learned from my sprain was that I needed to be more careful. I needed to be going to therapy. I had never gotten extensive therapy like that for my leg as a whole. So then that also helps me become stronger within my leg, within it being shorter than the other. I got a lift in my shoe, I got a brace that I can use, and I made myself stronger. They gave me therapy, they gave me exercises to bring home, and to this day I still work out with those exercises and make sure that my leg is still being taken care of, right? Another thing that you have to do is manage your emotions. Being able to control emotions in stressful situations is crucial. It involves recognizing and understanding emotions and responding in a way that's positive and constructive. I feel like this is one of the biggest things that you have to learn to do, because our emotions take a lot of us. When emotions are high, our mindsets aren't 100%. When emotions are high, you don't make the best decisions. When emotions are high, our logic is low. So making sure that you control your emotions, making sure that you feel what you need to. I always talk about the 5-minute rule, and the 5-minute rule is for you to just feel what you need to. You get 5 minutes to whine, crying, and complain. And then after that, you move forward from that mindset and you start going into that optimism. You start going into that positive mindset. You start thinking like, okay, I am here. This is my reality. How can I move forward in a positive way? So again, the 5-minute rule, super fun. You get 5 minutes to scream and get it out of your system. But then after that, you continue on forward. You also have to have mindfulness techniques. I bring up breathing a lot because that's what I've been doing, and it helps. Having breathing exercises within my whole day has helped me not only regulate my emotions, but bring me back to the present moment. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling stressed, when you're in that situation of like, I don't know what to do, it's because you haven't asked yourself the right question to move forward. So having a breathing exercise or having, a moment to bring you back into your present moment really helps, because it calms down your emotions, it calms down your nervous system, it makes sure that you allow yourself to think thoroughly, right? So have a mindful technique, deep breathing, meditation, journaling. For me, it all helps with keeping your emotional balance and everything else. Building resilience also means that you have people in your corner. So support systems. What are the support systems that you have that allow you to come and have a different perspective? When I was in the gym, I would always tell my boyfriend, he's my husband at the time, I said, I don't know what to do. I worked so hard. I finally got into the gym. I finally got into the mindset of like, I can do this, and this happens. And all he used to tell me was like, do what you can. Don't give up. Just do what you can. And so from that, that's how I stayed in the gym. That's how I maintained a healthy, diet. That was another factor that I could control. And how I told you guys earlier, having optimism means that you can look past the victim mentality, look past the hurt, look past the obstacle, and look at ways that, you can actually take charge and control things in your life in a positive way. So another thing was my way of eating, right? So I maintained my clean diet. I maintained myself in the gym doing upper workouts with a little bit of weight too, right? Because I didn't want to build up my upper body and not have my lower body match it, right? So, but having that community, having those friends, having that one person that you can lean on and say, I don't know what to do anymore, that gives you a positive outlook on the situation that you're in is very important. Because when we're going through it, when we're going through stress, when we're going through situations, we get so clouded with everything else that we kind of don't take ourselves out of it. So having another person that's outside of your thoughts and your minds and the things that are running inside here is very important, and it helps a lot. Another thing that you could have is critical thinking. So I've learned that resilient people assess situations, weigh options, and make decisions that are thoughtful and informed. So having a problem-solving mindset is always good, no matter what happens in life. Having a problem-solving mindset allows you to, again, take yourself out of the situation, look for optimism, and look for different ways you can solve one thing. For me, I listen to John B. Maxwell a lot, and so he talks a lot about having time to think. And I didn't do that before just because, I'm like, thinking is thinking, right? I could do that in the shower, in the gym, and whatever. But if you actually sit down and think every day, your brain starts to just get used to it. And like I mentioned before, that I learned that our brains answer any question that we give it. It's like a Google. If you ask it a question, it'll answer it. It'll find the answer in, whether it's in here or outside, it'll find the answer. And it's the coolest thing in the world. Try it out. So having critical thinking skills is very important, because you allow yourself to be positive. You allow yourself to give yourself options. You allow yourself to just focus on problem solving instead of having that victim mentality. So Allow yourself to, weigh your options. Make decisions that are thoughtful. Make decisions that are going to be better for you tomorrow, instead of staying still and not working towards something better, a solution, a positive outcome. And be flexible, right? You have to be able to adapt to whatever happens. Along with being a business owner, I think that's a lot. And an entrepreneur, that's a lot of the things that we learn is like, we don't have everything figured out. So, the only thing that keeps us going is the fact that we know, I can't talk about other entrepreneurs, but me, I've been in this for 10 plus years. And the one thing that keeps me going is that I'm adaptable. And I can look at a situation and think and see it and just change directions if I need to and try something new and fail forward. So you're going to be able to adapt. You need to be able to have that mindset of like, okay, so A didn't work, what's B? And if B didn't work, what's C? Like, there's different routes to the same destination. And so if you're able to adapt in a positive way and think of ways that you can do that, it helps, right? Also, like I always say, self-care. So having a resilience, building resilience is also taking care of yourself. It could be physical, mental, emotional. So as I always say, physical well-being through exercise, nutrition, sleep, will always, always, always increase your mental resilience. Physical activity in particular has been shown to reduce stress and improve your mood, your mental health, engaging in activities that promote mental well-being, like hobbies, reading, spiritual practices. You just help build that inner peace, that inner strength, that inner resilience of like, no matter what happens, God's got me. No matter what happens, I know that He will take care of me. No matter what happens, I know that, I'm going to be okay. And so if you work on your physical health, like I always talk about it, exercising releases endorphins in your body. And when you start to like look at your little wins and the life changes that you're making, it boosts your mood up because you're seeing a change. You're doing something that you've never done before. And so with that comes more endorphins, and you feel proud of yourself and you just want to keep doing it. So it gives you resilience in your mind as well. And it teaches you discipline, which is another thing that I feel like needs to be part of having a resilient mindset, because you're not going to do things just because you want to do them. Motivation doesn't come. It's the discipline that makes you show up, and showing up, taking action is what gives you the motivation to keep going. So discipline is built in the gym because you have to learn it. You have to show up. Nobody else can work out for you. Nobody else can make your muscles change but yourself. Nobody else can change your diet but you, right? So discipline, taking care of your body, taking care of your mental health, taking care of your spiritual health, everything else, all of that takes discipline. And so with that builds resilience. So I always talk about routines because it's what I thrive in. So what can you do to build a routine either in the afternoon or in the morning that takes care of all of these areas of your life, right? And like I always say, also reflecting on your past experiences and learning from them, failing forward, allowing yourself to accept that you're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. We're all trying to figure it out. But accepting that and moving forward with how you see fit for yourself is what matters. Resilient individuals learn from their past, understanding what worked and what didn't, and applying the lessons that they learned to future challenges. It's a commitment to personal growth, and you are always learning new skills, expanding knowledge, and that enhances your ability to deal with adversity. So like I always say, fail forward. I've been failing forward my whole life, and I've learned a lot. I've learned so much, and now that I know all of this, I'm just applying it as I go, and if I see the same problem or the same obstacle, now I know what to do with it. And it has just, helped me, has allowed me to really look back and say, wow, okay, so when I went through this obstacle, it's helped me with this now. Man, I lost some money. Okay, now I know how to be smarter with it. A business failed. Okay, so now I know what not to do for the next one that I launch or create, or when an opportunity presents itself, I'm going to be ready and say, I know how to handle this now. So remember that, building resilience can be fun as well. Building resilience and discipline and building that mindset is so important, because life hits you every single day. Something might happen, and you might get stuck, and you might feel like you don't have a way out, and you might feel like you can't get, move forward from something, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. There is always something that's going to want to kick you out of who you are, take you out of the life that you want to build, take you out of who you are as a person. But having resilience helps you to move forward in a positive way. It takes you out of that victim mentality, and it allows you to move forward in a positive way. So, as always, I have a Bible verse for you guys this week. The Bible verse is Philippians 4:13. This is one of my favorite ones because it's true. And it says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. This verse emphasizes the idea that through faith in Christ, we can find the strength to endure and overcome challenges. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles, and that divine strength is available to help us be resilient. So a little bit of the context of this. The source of strength, is Christ. And it comes with having a relationship with Christ. It's not just about relying solely on our own abilities or resources, but on the empowerment that comes from faith. The phrase, I can do all things, can be understood as encompassing any situation, whether it's facing adversity, pursuing a goal, or enduring hardship. Through Christ, believers are equipped to handle whatever life throws at them. It also talks about, contentment and peace. Paul talks about learning to be content in all circumstances, whether in plenty or in need. This contentment is linked to the strength he receives from Christ, which enables him to face both abundance and scarcity at the same time. So as believers, we have to hang on to our faith. As believers, we have to move forward in joy, not because it's easy, but because the Lord has promised. The Lord has promised to be there with us. The Lord has promised that we can do anything with him, through him, with his strength and his divine timing and leadership, right? So he gives us peace. He gives us that joy that nobody else understands. And it's encouragement for us, and a reminder that we are not alone in our struggles. That, the same strength that empowered Paul is available to all of us who trust in Christ, offering hope and encouragement to face life's challenges with confidence. For me, every time that I go through a struggle or something, I think about this verse and how Paul always talks about, like, when I had plenty, I worshiped your name. When I had nothing, I worship your name, because it's true. The Lord will always sustain us. The Lord will always be there. The Lord will always make sure that you're okay. And even though it could be dark sometimes and you can't see the light of the tunnel, Christ is the light, and through him, you're going to be able to overcome all things. I know it's happened with me, and it's the hope that keeps me going every day. It's the grace that allows me to love other people in a beautiful way, right? So don't forget that, through Christ you can do all things, and building a resilient mindset is very, very important for your well-being. I hope that you found some value in this, and if you did, please share it forward. Put it on your socials, Instagram. If you want to connect with me, I'll leave all the information in the post. And as always, know that I love you, but that the Lord loves you more. Always, always, always. God bless.